we will have the median for grouped data. Now, you have noticed here the formula. The median is simply this one here. The median is simply, let me change the pen first. Let's make it red. Okay, there you go. So take note, the median is simply, L means the lower limit or the lower boundary of the median class. So we will go over this one. Sir, how do you get the median class? Oh, we will have that one later. So take note of L. L is simply the lower boundary of the median class. Then you have here times, parenthesis, you have n over 2. N is simply, you know what n is? That's the total frequency. Over 2 divided by 2, that's a constant. Then minus CF. CF, there is the cumulative frequency of the class interval that precedes the median class. Okay? And then divided by F. F is simply the frequency of the median class. Then I is the class size. Okay? These are the steps. Step number 1. Add one column before the frequency distribution table and another column after the frequencies. So if I'm going to have it this way, it will look like this now. So we will have, this is the given table only. Kinira siya, mora ni itong given. Let me annotate first. Okay. So this is our given only, these two. We will add a column before the class interval and you name that class boundary. And then you add another column after class frequency. You call that cumulative frequency. Now, let's begin with the class boundary. This is how you get the class boundary. It's so simple. The class boundary is simply for each class interval, meaning if I'm going to focus over here, this class interval, I will be getting the lower boundary by subtracting 0.5 from the lower limit. These are the lower limits. The first numbers in our class interval, you call that the lower limit. Then, the second numbers there, Kenisha, you call this the upper limits. So, to get the lower boundary, you subtract 0.5 over here. So, what is 11 minus 0.5? Oh, I'll be writing 10.5 over here. Okay? Let me change the color first. Let's use black. We have 10.5. Do the same thing with the other lower limits. So 16 minus 0.5, 15.5. Okay. Now, how do we get the upper boundary? You add 0.5 over the upper limits. So the upper limits, atong adan og 0.5. So this becomes 15.5. Ang 20 plus sa nato, that becomes 20.5. So our table will now look like this. So all in all, if I'm gonna fill it up, mo na ni atong values. Do we have any questions about the class boundary? Is the class boundary clear? Okay, so let's continue with the next step. Let's go to the next step. So the next step is simply fill in the cumulative frequency. And how do you do that? I'm going to show you first. Let's go back to this table. Okay, to fill up the cumulative frequency, it's very simple. You begin with, let me change the ink para emphasis, that's a bread. You start with 3. You write 3 here, the first frequency. You write 3, then after which, what is 3 plus 6? You write 9 there. 9 plus 6, 15. 15 plus 3, 18. 18 plus 2, you write it here, 20. 20 plus 4, okay. 24 plus 3, 27. 27 plus 3. Okay. This one will serve also as your n. The last number here, because if you'll be adding all these frequencies, you will be getting 30 there. Is the CF clear? Okay. Okay, very good. So these are our CFs. Now, let's go to step number 4. Step number 4 is to determine the median class by locating n over 2. What is our n again, Section Galileo? 30. So what is 30 divided by 2? Okay, so I will be locating 15 in the CF. Sir, how do you do that? It's so simple. Let me have my... Okay, there you go. This means 1... Let's change the color first. This means 1 to 3. This means... What's the number next to 3? 4 to 9. Number next to 10? 10 to 15. You have 16 to 18. Then you have 19 to 20. This is 21 to 24. This is 25 to 27. This is 28 to 30. Moni pasabot ani niya. Now, pili value sa atong n over 2. It's 15. We will locate it here. Where is 15? Sir, it's over here. So my CF is simply 15. Now, what if I'm going to be having the result when you divided n over 2 is 17? Where is the CF there? 6. So what's the value of your CF? 18. So here's the shortcut. It's simply a number equal to the CF or the first number bigger than your n over 2. Because if you will be having like example, sir, what if I'm going to have n over 2 is 12? What's the CF there? What's the first number there bigger than 12? Here, over here, 15. So 15 will be the CF. What if when I divided n over 2, by, and the result is 19. The result is 19. Where is the CF? 20. So that's how you get the CF. Is that clear, Section Galileo? Okay. So take note, this is now our CF. Therefore, kung akong tanawon, kini siya, mauni at tuang, this will be the median class. This is the median class where the CF is located. So take note, diri ko mag-base na sa ako ang formula. Oh, let's proceed to the next step now. Let us now identify the parts. So we have, let's use black. Oh, the formula is this. This is our formula. Okay? So, okay, there you go. Let's have our formula. So take note, the L here is simply, what is L? The lower boundary of the median class. You know naman this is our median class. This one over here. So you already know that this is the median class. So take note of that. That's the median class. So the lower boundary is 20.5. Is the lower boundary clear? Okay. N over 2, kabalo na mo, what is N? 30 cn. Now, what is the value of CF? If our CF is 15, take note of that, the CF is 15. Now, where is or what is the least number nga CF before sa 15? It's 9. Oh, that's the CF that I'm gonna be using in the formula. Is that clear, Section Galileo? Okay. Then you have the frequency of the median class. The frequency is simply 6. And the interval, how did you get the interval? Why is this 5? Why is the interval 5? So you give me the explanation. Why is the interval 5? Oh, you count. How many numbers are there from 46 to 50? Sir, 46. Okay. 47, 48, 49, 50. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 numbers. So meaning the class size is 5. Is that clear, Section Galileo? Oh, you substitute everything in the formula. So you know for a fact that L is 20.5, N is 30, CF is 9, the frequency is 6, and the I is 5. You do division first, so it becomes 15. Mo na siyang 15 din ha. Then after which, you subtract this is 6, divided by 6, that is 1. Then you multiply it to 5, then you add the result to 20.5, that's 25.5. Therefore, our median is 25.5. Section Galileo, is this clear? Okay, now let's continue with the mode. Okay, let's continue with the mode now. The mode formula will be this one. Look at the mode formula. The mode formula is this for group data again. L is simply, what is L? The lower boundary of the modal class. Sir, unsay modal class? O katong pinakadako nga frequency. O asa may pinakadako nga frequency ani? Look at the frequencies here. This is our modal class. I'm gonna highlight that. This will be our modal class over here. Kinisha. This is the modal class. Okay, this will be our reference now. Is that clear, Section Galileo? So take note ha, that's how you get the modal class. Pero let's go over the formula first. So you know for a fact that L is the lower boundary of the modal class. D sub 1 is simply the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the frequency of the interval before the modal class. And D sub 2 is simply the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the frequency after the modal class. Let's apply that one. Take note of that. Step number 1. Add a column for the class boundaries to the left. So meaning, ang i-add ra jud nako is 1 column to the left for the lower boundaries. So let's wait ha. It's loading. Okay, there you go. So these are our low class boundaries. You already know how to get this, okay? So no problem with that. Now, identify the modal class. Just like what I said a while ago, the highest frequency will be the modal class. So this will be our reference. Okay, Section Galileo, am I understood? Okay, let's go to step number 3. This will be now step number 3. Okay, di ba ang modal class nato, ang frequency kay 13? The frequency before it, meaning ang babaw ana, i-minus ko na ang 10 o ang 13, that's 13 minus 10, maunay gitawag nato D sub 1. Nya, if I'm gonna subtract 13 and 9, that is D sub 2. Maunay pagpangita, that's how you solve D sub 1 and D sub 2. So again, to get D sub 1, it's simply the frequency of the modal class minusan frequency above it. Yang frequency sa modal class minusan sa frequency below it, maunay D sub 2. Are D sub 1 and D sub 2 clear? Okay. So you already know for a fact also, why is this 5? That's 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. It's 4 numbers. So the class size is 5. Now let's go to the next page. There you go. Now you use the formula. The lower boundary in our example was simply 26.5. Look at the modal class. Sir, the modal class is here. So I'm going to be using 26.5 for the lower boundary. Okay? Let's go back to our solution. So we have our D sub 1. We computed this. It's 3. D sub 1, it's 3 plus D sub 2, that's 4. And our class interval is 5. We all got this in our previous table. Look at our D sub 1, it's 3. Our D sub 2, that's 4. Okay? Now, you add first the denominator to make that 7. Then you can multiply 3 and 5, that's 15. Divided by 7, add the result to 26.5. And approximately our mode is 28.64. Okay, Section Galileo, are there any questions regarding the mode and the median? Okay, let me look for the presentation we had last time first. Finding the mean, where are you? Katong-atong dara. Mean of group data. I will be using the same data for this, pero I'm gonna have copy. Oh, sorry for that. Copy. Okay. Okay, let's have a practice on this one, Section Galileo. Let's begin with the median. Kung sige ito yung step number 1 nato, if you're having your book, you can go through your book. Diba, mag-add ta og column. So I'm gonna be adding another column over here. And I'm gonna have class boundaries for that. Okay? The class boundaries. What are you gonna write over here, section? O, unahon natong mga lower. Let's start with the lower boundaries. O, minusan nako og 0.5. How much is that? We have, okay, 158.5. Minusan og 0.5. How much? 162.5. Next, minusan og 0.5. Okay. Next, over here, minusan og 0.5. Next. Okay, next. Next. Okay, that's how you get your lower boundaries. Let's get the upper boundaries. Again, Section Galileo, how do you get the upper boundaries? Okay, you add 0.5. How much? Okay, next, add 0.5. Add 0.5. Add 0.5. Add 0.5. Okay, add 0.5. And lastly, we have... Okay, now, what another column na sa after the frequencies? Okay, I'm gonna add another column here for our CF. Asa ko mag-start section Galileo? Sa 2 or sa 1? Section Galileo, sa CF, where should you start? Sa 1. Okay. What are you gonna write after below 1? 5. How did you get 5? Okay, 1 plus 4 is 5. Next. Okay, 16. Next. 28. Very good. Next. 34. Next. 38. And next. 40. Okay? Now, asa kaha... Unsa gyud buhaton nako ani? I-locate nako si n over 2 ang median class. Pilay n nako section Galileo? 40 divided by 2. 20. Oh, what is the first number there in the CF greater than 20? Okay. Oh, mauna ang atuang. Unsa may tawag ana? Mauna ang... I'm gonna change color para na ay... Let's have a look. Okay. This will be our median class. Take note of that. That's our... I'm gonna highlight that para maklaro na ako nga diri ko mangita sa median class. Okay, so take note, the median class, okay, MD, sorry, close, keep, ha, balik ta, then, there you have it. So, our median class, okay. So, what is the value of our L? 1, I'm gonna right away this substitute everything, okay? 170.5 is our L. I am simply using the formula. Plus, n over 2 is how much? And how much do you get? Let's write 20 right away. Because we have already computed n over 2, that's 20. So I'm gonna be writing 20 there. Minus the CF before the median class. There you go, 16. Divided by the F of the median class. 12. Okay. Times the class interval. What is the class interval here? The I, the class size. 4. Why 4? Okay. From 183 to 186, there are 4 numbers. Okay, let's use, if you have your calculators with you, please do use that. Unaw sa nato og minus. So, i-minus din nato. How much is this? This is 4 over 12 times 4. Then after which, we have 170.5 plus, i-multiply ni nako, I'm gonna get 16 over 12. Oh, can you divide 16 divided by 12? Add 170.5. Add 170.5. How much is that? 100? Okay, there you go. This is now our median. Is the median clear? Okay. Now, I'm going to go back first. I'm going to discard that. Keep. Then I'm going to have this one. Because we will be having... Let's have the mode this time. Let's have the mode. So, the same process. Pero, you know what, Section Galileo? Para dili kaayo siya kutik. Like, example, mag-solve ta. What I usually do is this. I will focus only on the modal class. Where is the modal class? Okay, this is the modal class. This is the modal class. Oh, what is the value of L? Focus over this. Oh, pila man ni 171 minus 0.5. Oh, that is the value of L. Let's use the formula now. So, meaning, ang modal class nako is simply the L, that's 170.5, plus, what is D1? This is D1. I-minus 1. Ang D2, i-minus. Okay, D sub 2 is 6. So you have, what was our formula again, Section Galileo? Was it D1 in the numerator or D2? Let's go check. Okay, D1 ang nasa numerator. Let's go back. So D1 is simply 1. Then you have D1 plus D2. The class size is 4. Okay, let's use your calculators now. Pwede na siya i-multiply. So you have 170.5 plus 4 divided by 7. Or you divide 4 and 7, then add the result to 170.5. How much is that? Two decimal places lang. 171.07. This is the mode now. That's the mode of your group data.